So for those of you who haven't worked with Google Contacts, it's nothing more than an online address book. It's completely integrated with all the other Google apps, Gmail, Calendar, and more. And I'll show you that as well. I talked about the fact that you can import contacts from other applications into your Google Contacts. And you can also export your Google Contacts out to other applications as well. And there's different ways of accessing the Google Contacts app. So today I'm working on a Windows laptop. I'm going to be using my web browser, and this is what's called the desktop version. So from my web browser, I'm going to show you how to open up Google Contacts, how do you work with it. If you're working on a smartphone or a tablet, what you'll need to do is you can download the app and download Work with Google Contacts as an app on your mobile device. So and if you're on an Android device, you just bring up Contacts. That's the app Contacts. That's your Google Contacts because it's a Google device. And so that's how you're going to access your Google Contacts. So let me go ahead and I'm just going to rearrange this a little bit. Here we go. So again, what I've done is I've brought up a web browser. I've gone to google.com. I've logged on to google.com. Again, I'm working off of the desktop version. And then I've logged on to my Google account. I have a test account here. So I've logged on to my Google account. And then here is that little, what we call waffle icon or the grid icon, whatever term you like to use. When I click on the grid icon, once I've logged into my Google account, this brings up a menu of the different Google apps that you have access to. And here is the Google Contacts app. So when I click on this, I'm actually bringing up Google Contacts. And again, if you're working on a mobile device and you bring up Google Contacts, you're going to be able to do almost the same things that I'm doing today. Creating a label may be the one exception. Your menus, you'll just access your menus a little bit differently because you're working off of a mobile device versus a web browser. So things are arranged a little bit differently. So when you open up Google Contacts, you have contact information on your main screen right over here. And then on the left-hand side of your screen, there's this I call it a navigation panel. And there are different various folders that you have access to. And I'll be walking through all of these, how you use them. And when you have your contacts available like this, you'll notice because I'm working off of a laptop, I have a mouse that I'm working with today. As I scroll over a particular contact, there are different icons that you can see. And one of those icons is a pencil icon. And when I hover over it, it says Edit Contact. Simply by clicking on the pencil, you then have access to this particular contact's information. You can change it. And by the way, let me bring up my annotation, you may see that there's a Show More button over here. If you click on Show More, it will, let's do this. I'm doing two things at once. It will show you additional fields. By default, when you bring up, I'm going to click on Show List. By default, when you bring up a contact, it only shows a handful of fields. You can always tap or click on Show More, and then you'll be able to see all the different fields. And so that's how you can very easily open up a contact and start adding information. To close the contact, you'll see there's a little X button right over here. And again, I'm working on the desktop version. If I click on that, then it just closes it. And also clicking on the contacts link right over here in the left-hand side of your screen always brings you back to your list of contacts. And so what I wanted to do next was show you how you can start creating contacts. And what I mean by creating a contact, how you manually add a contact within your Google Contact app. So here we have, when I go to the upper left-hand corner of my screen, there's a big plus sign, a button with a plus sign, and it says create contact. If you click on that button, you have two options. You can create a single contact, or you can create multiple contacts. I just want to show you how to do both. When you click on create a contact, it brings up an empty contact screen, and you're just going to start typing in information. And so we can just type a first name. I'm making stuff up here. Company, the Langston Corporation, job title, maybe Kathy is, she's the CEO. And then what would Kathy's email be? I'm just making this up. And then I'm just going to click on save. I won't bother filling in additional information. I just wanted to do this quickly. I'm going to click on save. It's working. There is Kathy. If I click on the contacts link over here on the left-hand side, if I scroll down, there is Kathy Langston. She's right there. Okay, so pretty easy, pretty basic. Adding a contact. If I click on create contact, I want to show you how you can create multiple contacts. So if I click on multiple contacts, this works a little bit differently. You are limited to the type of information, how much information you can enter. So I'm going to do different things. It says here it gives you examples. You can enter in a name separated by commas, email addresses, or you can actually do both. So I can sit here and I can say, Paul Winger. I'm separating these with commas. I can do Ursula at dummy.com. I'm just separating my multiple contacts. Vera. I'm just doing that. I'm going to press enter, and you'll see that I've now entered 3 contacts. I'm going to click on create, and what you're going to see happen is that it enabled me to create the contacts, but I was only able to put in limited information.